The following is a bug report based off of a bug that is currently affecting Minecraft. The status of the bug is displayed in an annotation on the right, as well as a link to the issue on the Mojira bug tracker. If the bug is fixed, I will update the annotations accordingly to save you the trouble of watching this video. With that in mind, please enjoy. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is PatchM142, and this is a public service announcement. Chicken jockeys are bad. They will lag your world, and you want to kill every single one. Now that we've got the pleasantries out of the way, let me explain to you what I'm talking about. In a recent Mojang update, they added the chicken jockey. Now the chicken jockey is obviously just a zombie riding a chicken. It's one of those crazy ideas that probably came straight from Dinnerbone himself. It's funny, but it's also dangerous, and I'm going to show you why. Now, just because the zombie is riding the chicken doesn't mean that the chicken doesn't exist. In fact, despite the fact that these are a combined entity in this form, they still have the abilities of both. That is to say, the zombie can still attack you, and the chicken can still lay eggs. Like this little fellow right in this cage who appears to have laid one very recently. Now, that's not a big issue, except for the fact that you don't need to have a chicken in the area for a chicken jockey to spawn. It does increase your chances, but it's not mandatory. What that means is that chickens now have the capability to spawn anywhere that zombies can spawn. And that definitely increases their spawn rate quite a bit. Previously, they could only spawn in new chunks and on grass if there were not enough peaceful mobs around. Now they can spawn much more frequently, and that's pretty much the root of the problem. Now let me show you first of all what happens when the zombies die. I'm going to set the game mode to peaceful. The zombies will disappear, but the chickens will not. As you can see, the chickens still exist. So what that basically means is that if the zombie dies, the chickens keep existing and they keep laying eggs. So now we've spawned chickens as naturally as zombies, and the zombies have died. Thus we still have the chickens, but not the zombies. Now if you think this is just because I've set the game mode to peaceful, I will debunk you right here and now. Let me just spawn in a couple more mobs, and let me set the time to day, and let me open the top. Now, as you can see, the zombie on the right is on fire, but the chicken is not. I haven't figured out why the baby zombie is not burning. I assume that that is just a bug with the way that baby zombies are handled. However, the experiment still stands. If we kill the zombie on top of the chicken still exists. Which is, like I said, one of the problems, though it is not the only one. So let's go ahead and kill these. Close the hatch and set the time back to night, and let's spawn those in. So here is our other problem. Zombies have the capability, like skeletons, to pick up loot. Now it doesn't work with every single zombie. They need to have a special NBT tag that says can pick up loot. However, some of them do naturally spawn with this tag, and that's a problem. Because if they pick up loot, they become persistent, which means they will never despawn. It's a cool little feature that was added a long time ago. However, it is part of the problem today. So if we give this guy an egg, he will never despawn. Now, that was well and fine until the 1.6 update, at which point persistent mobs no longer counted towards the mob cap. Now, the mob cap on a single-player world is about 80. And the mob cap on a multiplayer world is about 75. Don't get me into how the mechanics of that work. All you need to know is that these guys, now that they've picked up loot, cannot contribute to that mob cap. So if you have 75 zombies without loot, they contribute to the mob cap and no more mobs can spawn. If you have 75 zombies holding eggs, well, they don't contribute to the mob cap and more mobs can spawn on top of that. Now this is essentially the problem. The boosted chicken spawning rate from the chicken jockey causes the spawn of many more eggs everywhere, and that in turn leads to more zombies picking up the eggs and more zombies who will never despawn. Now, this is why chicken jockeys are so dangerous, because of a few simple, very basic game mechanics, chickens laying eggs and zombies being able to pick them up. We're seeing a huge increase in zombies in our worlds because the zombies are picking up the eggs. Now, you can be digging underground and find a huge pocket of egg zombies just standing there, and this is obviously going to lag your world, because if you have a whole bunch of persistent zombies on top of the ones that are being spawned through the mob cap, you have got a big problem, and you need to find a way to solve it. Mojang is really the only one who can solve it at this point. I think the best way, if they want to keep the chicken jockey, is they're going to have to add a tag to the chicken that says whether or not they can lay eggs, and the ones that spawn from zombies cannot lay eggs. Otherwise, they would have to scrap the chicken jockey altogether. It's an accumulation of features that have sort of merged together to make a bug, and it's a problem, and I think we would all like to see it fixed. So, preventing zombie chicken spawning is actually quite simple. You just need to light up your world, because if the zombie can't spawn, the chicken jockey can't either. But you do have to be quite careful, because if you have a chicken farm and zombies can spawn anywhere near that chicken farm, they have the ability to spawn on one of your pre-existing chickens. Now, DocM77 did a video on spawning chicken jockeys, so if for some reason you actually want one of these things in your world, the link will be in the description. I think that's it for now. Hopefully Mojang fixes this bug, and this is more of a warning to you. Kill the chicken jockeys in your world. You will thank me later. So my name is PatchM142 again, signing off.